world. It is Saturday, November 21st. Chilly day, back in Defiance again, a little overcast this morning, but I think it's going to be a relatively clear day, but cool day today. The devotion for today is entitled Draw Near, written by Molly Baskett. And Molly bases the devotion upon James chapter 4, verse 8. Draw near to God, and God will draw near to you. And Molly writes, social distancing is our new way of life. When people we don't live with come closer than 6 feet these days, we might feel or might experience a frisson of fear. What a strange and alienating reality. Humans are wired for connection, and we do better, mentally and physically, with touch. Some sources say 12 hugs a day for optimal well-being. So what is a human to do when drawing near is both what we most need and, in an age of a pandemic, what might end us? The disciple James tells us that if we draw near to God, God will draw near to us. Is this a bribe, a threat, a tease, an invitation? If we draw near to God, will we be blown to bits or enfolded with love? Will we be infected with something that will overwhelm our resistance or healed of what ails us? Panentheism believes that God lives in all things. If that is true, how can God be anywhere but here? Is God social distancing from us too? Quantum physics teaches us that true contact is an illusion of nerve endings and brain signals. The electrons of every atom in the universe are, in reality, constantly repelling electrons of other atoms. They reach for each other, but never quite touch. Perhaps the urge from James is an urge to this kind of proximity, safe space, close but never touching, sharing each other's energy fields, distanced but deeply attracted in a felt way. Imagine this attraction between us and God as the glance of a first love across a crowded space, the skin sense of two people on a first date in a darkened movie theater whose hands are not quite touching, the umbilical connection of mother and newborn in different rooms, sensing, smelling, hearing, despite distance, the hunger growing, the breasts responding. And Molly's prayer. God, you are already here, within us and growing, without us and protecting. Make yourself known anew, always near. Amen. Now, for me, probably the hardest thing of this pandemic is maintaining distance and not touching. I'm a very tactile person, so touch is important. Although I know for some people it's not. In fact, they cringe at touch. So you have to be sensitive to what people like and don't like, and what they're sensitive to. But it was strange. Yesterday, we went up to Michigan and picked up our daughter's car. She had gone off lease, and we were purchasing it from her to have as a second car. And I wanted to hug her, so I did. And she hugged Laurel, too. But it felt strange at first, like we shouldn't do it. But it felt good afterwards. And then we on our way back, we stopped and visited briefly with social distancing and masks inside, but mostly we were outside with some old friends from the Detroit area. And again, it was strange not to shake hands, not to hug in greeting or in departing. But it was still good to be across the table from them outside. So even though there was not physical contact, there was still nearness. And maybe that's what that devotion is getting at, is drawing near to God. Doesn't necessarily mean touching God, but taking the time each day to be contemplative, to reach out to God, to look for God's comfort and strength, to go out into the world and see God's creation and open yourself to the sights and the sounds that are there, to be aware, to be aware. Perhaps that's how we draw near to God, especially in this time of the pandemic. Hope to see you tomorrow on Sunday for worship. Take care, and hope you have a good Saturday.